guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're doing amazing. So I basically decided to start a new series where I just go through some of the books on my physical TBR and just kind of mood read in general. This is episode 1 of getting through my physical TBR, and we are starting with A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Now, I am not going to lie, I've been putting off reading this book for so long, since I got it probably, and that's like at least a couple of months now. And that's basically because there's just so much hype around the series, and you know, when there's a lot of hype over a book, you're always nervous to get into it to see if it lives up to the hype, and I never want to be disappointed by a read. And also, I literally know nothing about the series. I remember reading something about the characters. I think there's a girl called Nesta in this, and Feyre, I think. But I literally haven't even read the back yet. Yeah, basically I'm going in blind, and I'm very excited to get through this though. Also, for a while I just wanted the ACOTAR series to be the first thing I read in the new year, so I decided why not start it. So I'm just going to document a little bit. I might even include some spoiler portions of this video, and yeah, let's get on to reading. Before we go on, I just wanted to say the rest of this video will include spoilers, so if you haven't read this book, feel free to click off. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, so I thought that I would give a little update. I just read chapter 7, so I'm currently on page 75, and so far I'm actually really enjoying it. Everything that has happened so far has kind of happened very fast. Basically, this book follows Feyre, and basically she had to hunt for food for her family, which includes her sisters Nesta and Elaine. And while hunting for food, she ended up killing a wolf, which was the High Fae's friend. The High Fae is someone called Tamlin. So basically Tamlin comes and takes Feyre from the Morderland and forces her to come live in the Faeland. There's also a Fae that got introduced to us that's called Lucian. And where I am right now, Tamlin has just told Feyre that there is some kind of magical sickness that started to wipe out some of the Fae population, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So I'll give an update in a little bit. Okay, I'm here to give another update. I just read chapter 10, so it hasn't been that long. Feyre and Lucian went to hunt, and they went into a forest, something called the Bog, something like that. I'm gonna say Bog because it sounds better. Basically, they like passed through in the forest, and it's like a creature that isn't supposed to be in their land, and if you like acknowledge it at all, you can die. It can't be hunted or killed. Then Tamlin went out to hunt it because he can do that apparently, and then Feyre was waiting up to see if she could see Tamlin come back, but she didn't see Tamlin in the garden. She saw her father. That's kind of where we left off. Yeah, I wanted to update a little bit because I don't know if the Vogue is gonna like become more prominent later. You never know with fantasy novels, but yeah. Okay, so it wasn't her father, it was another creature thing. I just reached page 100. There it is, page 100. Okay, so I'm currently on page 175. Basically, Feyre had been told before about this creature called the Cereal, who basically is able to answer every single question you have, but it is quite difficult to capture. And so she goes talking to Lucian about it, and Lucian tells her exactly what she needs to do. So she goes into the forest, she tracks down the Cereal, and she asks it some questions, and basically the Cereal just tells her that she has to basically mind her own business and she has to trust Tamlin. And he basically told Feyre that the whole Prythian land was basically split into courts, and that they were in the Spring Court, that Tamlin was like the High Fae of the court. And there's also like the Summer Court and the Winter Court and like the Dawn Court, I think. While she was talking to the Cereal, they got attacked by a few other Fae creatures. I can't remember the names of them. Basically, they got attacked and Feyre was able to kill off 2 of them. There was 2 more. Tamlin came to save her. And then a little bit later, Feyre woke up in the middle of the night and saw that Tamlin was like carrying a fae that had his wings ripped off by someone that they just kept calling she, but this she person has been mentioned a few times. Really curious as to who this is. And Feyre and Tamlin have been kind of striking up a little romance. They went swimming together, so that has happened. And also, this is so cute. Page 175 is in the middle of the chapter, and you might be wondering why I decided to update in the middle of the chapter. Basically, something really cute happened. Feyre doesn't really know how to read or write because she never really learned how to do so. So she's been learning how to read and write a little bit. While she was reading a book, she would like rewrite the words that she couldn't read out loud yet. And Tamlin like found that list and was like, oh, what is this, a poem? And basically he gave her a few poems that had some of the words that were on that list. I might finish this chapter and then I'm gonna work out, and I'm really tired, so I'll probably have an early night in. Okay, so I don't exactly remember what the last thing I updated was, but I just passed the halfway mark. I'm currently on chapter 27, which is page 242, and a good bit has now happened. So basically there was this celebration of spring beginning, and Feyre was told by Tamlin that she was not to leave her room during that night, but Feyre left anyway, and she went to the celebration. And basically when she was there, 3 fae saw her and kind of like cornered her. Then she got saved by a different fae from a different court. Because I don't think this is actually something I mentioned, but everyone in the spring court has like masks stuck on their face, and that is due to the blight that has spread. And then in the chapter that I just read, Lucien, Tamlin and Feyre were enjoying a meal when it was interrupted by someone coming. And basically the person who came was the guy that had saved Feyre during the celebration. The fae's name is Rhysand, and basically Rhysand is part of the Night Court. Also, I forgot to mention that during one of the chapters before this, there was like a head left in their garden, and the head was actually sent from Rhysand. And also someone called Amarantha has been mentioned in this chapter as well. So I'm starting to feel like the plot is really starting to thicken, and I have a feeling that the next half of this book is going to be a lot more high stakes. So I'm excited. I lost a clip of me talking about this, but basically Tamlin sent Feyre home after the interaction with Rhysand. Okay, so with what I said earlier, the stakes are a lot more high now. Basically, Nesta went back to her home. Her family had like a bunch of wealth that Tamlin had helped supply. But when Tamlin had taken Feyre, he put a glamour on her family, so they couldn't remember anything, so they thought she was visiting her aunt. When Rhysand came to see Tamlin and Lucien, when he asked Feyre what her name was, she gave him a fake name that was a friend that she recalled. When she came back home, she found out that their family house was burned down and they all died, and so she had a really, really bad feeling. So basically she took off, she went to Prythian, and she just got to their house and it's empty, it's a mess in there, and it's not looking very good. Amarantha took Tamlin. Finally found out who she was. Basically she's like the High Queen of Prythian, and she took him. There was no blight, it was all Amarantha. I'm actually getting so invested, it's not even funny. This angle is doing it for me right now. Whoa, okay, huge bombshell has been dropped. Amarantha put a curse on Tamlin. The only way he could break the curse was if he found a mortal girl to marry that hated fae and was willing to kill fae. The wolf that was sent to their land was, I guess, kind of like bait. Tamlin put Feyre above anything. All she had to do was say that she loved him. I'm so invested. Reading this at night, I'm gonna regret it. It's 11 p.m. now. I'm screwed. Feyre's gonna go to the Under Mountain to try and save Tamlin. God, I have so much anxiety in me right now, it's not even funny. Okay, so I just woke up and started reading. In order for Feyre to free Tamlin, she has to either complete 3 tasks, or she has to answer a riddle correctly. She told us the riddle and honestly I have no idea. The only thing is she can't answer the riddle incorrectly, or else her first task is to hunt a giant worm with teeth at the face. So that's a bit terrifying. She won with the worm thing, but she got badly injured. So she came to an agreement with Rhysand that he would help heal her, then he would own her for a week out of a month. So that's where we're at. He is making Feyre his escort to a party, I believe, and he got her dressed in a dress and her whole body painted so that he can tell if someone touched her. So this Rhysand guy's a bit psychotic. Her next task is to solve a puzzle, but if she doesn't solve the puzzle in time, then Lucien will be like, there's spikes coming down, and if she doesn't answer it in time, he'll be squashed by the spikes, and then if she answers it wrong, she'll die, but she can't read. I'm guessing she's just gonna have to guess. I feel so bad for Lucien. Rhysand communicated with Feyre about the correct answer, and so they're fine. I have like 40 pages of the book left. What the hell? To turn over the page. Basically, her last task was to kill 3 innocent Fae. They all had bags over their heads so she couldn't see who they were. And the last one is Tamlin. She had to decide whether to kill him or to die herself. And she overheard many conversations of people saying that Tamlin had a heart of stone. And then she remembered that she's never felt his heartbeat. So she really does think that Tamlin has a heart of stone. So she stabbed it. Okay. Okay, we're fine. That was terrible. I hated that. Okay, we're okay. We're okay. We're okay. I can already tell that this series is going to be my personality for the next while.